Hello everyone, and welcome to a game of World of Warships. Today it's a mixture between my replay and Viper's replay. And we are on the map Sleeping Giant, and it's a 4-point domination game. So this is a tier 10 battle, but not too many tier 10s around. There is a carrier. And I've made myself here towards the decap. So we are starting this from my perspective. I'm getting in a position to radar, as you can see here with the 10-kilometer radar circle. I'm basically covering kinda the whole... Yeah, now I'm covering basically the whole cap. Now I'm detected here. Or I was briefly. Possibly the destroyer moved in here behind an island. It's very likely. And well, let's just start the radar and see what we can find.
The ship is on fire.
Now I might even be able to get some shots in there. Now there are 4 ships aiming at me, which I'm not sure who those ships are. So I switched it back to the Alaska because I thought I couldn't like shoot the Öland right now. But you know, not actually so sure about that. There is this like part of the island here. The Öland is trying very... I guess the same cover. Or is he actually moving out there? I mean, there is still a bit of radar left. Maybe I should have focused the destroyer a bit more there. But it's okay, like the enemy destroyer is taking quite a bit of a beating. Although he hasn't like left the camp yet, right? Which means that... Oh, has he left the camp now? Yeah, not yet, but we got the enemy destroyer quite low. And, well, we have Viper there to contest it. And look at that, we've got some spotting here again. But I presume that destroyer will soon just escape. Yeah, something like that. Now, why don't we see what Viper's up? Well, meanwhile, Viper is obviously inside this camp, and he is now camping the enemy destroyer. The enemy destroyers are in retreat. Not sure where the Yu Yang went. It's possible that he is going to reinforce the A side. Overall, not too much has happened. But it looks like we are securing this camp, which is nice. Viper has some troops on his way. And oh, look at that, there are planes. Of course there are planes. So it looks like the planes aren't hunting the Viper, so he's leaving his anti-air off. The planes are... Well... I don't know what they are going to do. Probably try to finish off the siege. But anyway, nobody shot Viper here, and we are going to get this camp. So that's lovely. Of course, the question is whether we go from here. We have one battleship here on the side. The Richelieu is running away for some reason. It's not looking... I mean, the other side is looking interesting, because our team is a lot more aggressive, and yet the enemies are inside this camp. I mean, as an Öland, I wouldn't go fight the Grossevoy. And like, we have a Missouri here who could technically radar, but... Oh! Well, turns out that Viper's torps found a destroyer. Isn't that lovely? And, you know, they are a gift that probably keeps on giving, because that Iowa is gonna eat some fish too. And yeah, that's pretty nice. As I was talking about the other side, like, the friendly destroyer could go in there, and technically if he was coordinating with the Missouri could provide some radar, but the Öland itself doesn't have a smoke screen, right? And in a gunfight, the Grossevoy is gonna win. So I guess that's a bit of an issue. So despite the friendlies having here more aggressive positioning, can't really do much. We'd need like one of the bigger ships to actually go in there and help Grossevoy. Help against the Grossevoy. But anyway, I mean, we've got this camp, we don't have the other side, that's fine for now, we are equal on ships. And Viper is probably going to move out here and go torpedo a few enemies. Meanwhile, I mean, my friend in the booster is moving up, and I myself am moving around the islands here to get into a better position to engage those enemies. Now, Viper's RPF is probably tracking one of those, actually, like the switch. I mean, it's... Oh, no, wait, he's tracking a Yu Yang, not one of the others. Well, look at that. So, Viper is in front of an Iowa and a Sound. The North Carolina, so... So he's decided to immediately smoke up. Probably a pretty wise choice. Now, a Yu Yang can't actually torpedo him. I mean, the Sow might be torpedoing this way, but he doesn't have to be afraid of the Young. Now, meanwhile, I'm actually providing the radar here, and that means this Young is spotted. Viper gets a torp in, and you know, our team should be able to finish off the Young here.
Smoke screen set.
Which will be pretty nice. Meanwhile, Viper's torps once again seem to be a gift that keeps on giving because he is torpedoing the Iowans.
Enemy battleship foundered.
And now he got the Young. Well, that brings Viper up to 3 kills and with this lovely double strike. And this really helps clear out this side, which is also good because, you know, we don't really have too many ships here. I mean, well, it looks like enemy Sow is pushing in. So why don't we jump to my perspective again? Now, well, we can see the Sow is pushing in here, but, well, this Sow is gonna go awfully broadside, so I have some armor piercing loaded. And, I mean, I don't think I can get too many more salvos in there. There is, like, this lovely looking building here. Might be a temple. That's unfortunately kind of blocking my shots. And now the Sow is starting to angle. So I've got a Hydro running. I presume the Sow is going to torp my way, or at least I would if I was the Sow. And that stops me from actually going much more forward. I really need this piece of island here to protect. So I went there for a high explosive salvo, then I went back to armor piercing because I was like, oh, he's going broadside again, but... Which is just a shame, isn't it? It just teases me. Now, meanwhile, it looks like this North Carolina is actually getting some good shots into me, which is why I'm moving forward. I was... Yeah, I mean, islands just aren't very big, are they? The North Carolina is moving away, though, so... I mean, I could have just reversed, you know. Would have gotten a lot big island between me and the North Carolina. But then I was afraid that the Sow would... Oh yeah, finally the island is helping. Was afraid that I wouldn't be able to shoot the Sow any longer. But you know, with this, we have sort of secured this flank. The remaining enemies are all running away, like the Alaska has left earlier, the North Carolina is now leaving. There's a Tirpitz kind of coming this way. The enemy team is a bit really positioned, but then again, so is our team. Ships are basically all over the place, but it's pretty even. We have a 1-ship lead right now, but ouch. Turns out the North Carolina is still around somewhat, and he could even lob shells over this bigger island, which I didn't expect. Now I'm currently just checking the Alaska, because it looks like that Alaska is coming closer. And if the Alaska comes here and wants to engage my friend in a rooster, then I want to be here in order to actually welcome the Alaska with some nice armor piercing. But it turns out the Alaska wasn't very willing to actually do this just yet. So, you know, why don't we just go back to Viper? So Viper is, well, gunboating the North Carolina. It looks like the North Carolina isn't interested in him and not looking his way. And nothing else yet is currently... Well, I mean, there's a Tirpitz coming. But Viper does have a smoke screen, so if things get bad, he would just disappear. He's got that lovely fire there on the North Carolina. And he's just making his way closer towards the sea camp. Meanwhile, I mean... I'm still in this standoff there with the Alaska. As it turns out, the Alaska didn't actually want to push into us, which put me into a bit of an awkward position, because, you know, well, there was nothing I could do, so I've decided to move out and go through this other channel there. Meanwhile, the Tirpitz is appearing. We will see how that turns out. So, it looks like the North Carolina finally had enough of Viper, but Viper is just nicely dodging that, and... yeah, I think the North Carolina is dodging those torps. But the North Carolina is on a very low health, and you know... yeah, Viper keeps shattering there, but, well, I guess I grabbed this one, so there is that. Meanwhile, the Tirpitz is coming around this way. And, you know, you really don't want to come around the destroyer like the 2.5 kilometers away. Now, of course, the Tirpitz technically has torpedoes too, but I doubt that they are going to be very helpful here. The carrier is also getting in on this fun, trying to farm Viper there, and, you know, Oh no, wait, the carrier's given up. I don't know why. But Viper unleashed his Kraken successfully and got all the achievements. He got the Confederate High Caliber Devastating Strike and a Kraken. It's like 4 in 1. Hooray for that. Now let's jump back to what I'm up to. So, it turns out the Alaska has finally decided to do a push here. Now my division mate is kind of in an awkwardly angled position because he's slightly beached. If the Alaska comes around here with armor piercing, then it's a problem. I should have already shot you, right? I'm a bit too late there, but you know, getting a decent salvo in there. Now my friend here lost quite a bit of hit points, but he's still floating and the enemy is not, and we'll call that a success. So, overall this game is looking pretty decent. We are now, what, like 3 ships ahead? We are, well, points ahead because of them. And the path to the sea cap is basically open. Now there is still a full health Kansas. Not sure how healthy the Salem is back there. And it looks like there is also a pretty healthy Grossevoy pushing in. But you know, I mean, the carrier could just go farm that Grossevoy. There's a Richelieu that can also shoot the destroyer. And meanwhile, I'm gonna go towards this Kansas now. Currently don't have to worry about a crossfire. So can just push in there and hopefully set a few fires. Maybe even go for some armor piercing if he's going to show a lot of broadside. There is the fire that we wanted. Oh, is he gonna damage con? It doesn't look like it just yet. Which is fine by me, you know. Oh, now he damaged con. I mean, I don't know, did somebody else set a fire, or did he just assume that behind this island he'd be safe? I mean, not from American shells, my friend. So anyway, I've switched here to armor piercing because I was hoping he'd come around here broadside-ish, but he's going to angle and reach. Now, oh, there's the carrier. Well, I've dodged one salvo of the Kansas. Should take him a while to reload, although I don't think those were all the turrets. Which makes it a bit awkward. But you see, I'm once again in the position that if I try to dodge those carrier planes, then I'll have to show full broadside to the Kansas. And this is what I'm doing right now. The problem is, yes, he only shot with half of his turrets earlier, which means that... I mean, I'm kinda in a doomed if you don't situation, right? It's just that the carrier can basically always create a crossfire as long as you're engaged with one ship, because a carrier can just circle around you and there's nothing you can do about it. But at least I can dodge this stuff. Also, the carrier managed to get 3 drops off against my Moines. Isn't that nice? Doesn't this feel like a strong anti-airship? If they can... But you know, I guess the 3rd drop was only 1 torpedo. You should be happy about that. Meanwhile, by the way, the Kansas is still lovely burning, and, you know, looks like it's finally completely crisp. Zinky. So the carrier is coming back to potentially finish me off, so Viper is dropping a smoke screen here, hoping to protect me from the evil carry. Which, well, I mean, we will see if it works. It looks like he's already started his drop, and... What just happened? Did he, like, not press the button? Like, I mean, there was no drop. He was already on... Why did he drop? It's not like just all of his planes. We just saw a plane there. We just lost vision of the planes because we were all in smoke. We briefly saw at least one plane after he did not drop. In a way, it's like... It's weird. And he had it kind of probably perfectly lined up because I was still I was still visible when he started landing. Well, anyway, I shouldn't complain. I'm still floating, and I like floating. Now, of course, we are almost at 900 points here. The Grossevoy is trying to take our cap away, but I might even be able to lob some shells there. Our midway is around, and oh no, he's visible because of the radar. So the Grossevoy probably dropped the smoke screen, then my division mate came in with a radar, and Now we can hopefully take care of this Grossevoy. I'm not entirely certain if there was a smoke screen. It's possible that the carrier just lost vision because he went on the other side of the island and decided that spotting is overrated. But be that as it may, the important part is we see the Grossevoy. I'm still trying to drop shares on it and I'm failing spectacularly. But that's alright. Now of course at some point the Salem might just get interested in me and start shooting me. But that's fine yet. My division mate got the Grossevoy and that just leaves the Salem and the carrier. Now the carrier could try to finish me off here or he could go for Viper. I mean both are very tasty targets for the carrier. So in theory maybe the enemy team could pull it, but it's unlikely. We just have too much. It's like they can finish me off, they can finish Viper off, but we should still do this. Now yeah, I'm probably dead here. But you know, I'm dead, so is the Salem. And that just leaves one enemy carrier and us at 957 points. And you know what? Let's speed up the remainder. We just win this now. And now that brings us to the results. So I had a pretty decent game here, but Viper had an amazing game and unleashed the Kraken there. Now I forgot to take screenshots myself, but obviously I have Viper screenshots, so there is that. Yeah, Viper found himself a Confederated Devastating Strike, Double Strike, a Kraken, and a High Caliber. And yeah, that was a pretty nice game. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it, and I'll see you next time.